This video is going to cover several VS Code hints in your zybook workspace, including opening a workspace in a new tab, opening and closing the Explorer, clearing the console, reformatting code, creating multiple files, coding shortcuts, backing up your work, adding new files, and resetting the template. Use the markers in the video to go to the section that you may need or watch the whole video. We're going to show you some tricks for working within your Visual Studio Code environment in zyBooks. So your main.java is your template, and we would always encourage you to open in a new tab. That's going to provide you what we call more screen real estate. You can also increase your screen real estate by using this button to open and close your Explorer window over here. So that is another feature that you can use. You notice I have several programs here. I have a string demo program that we did in my class. If I execute that code, the console window runs, and I'm going to execute several times by clicking the run button up here. And then you notice that your console window gets a little bit cluttered, so you can use the three dots here for more actions, and we're going to clear the terminal. That's the one that you will use most often. When you are writing your code, and sometimes you might be typing or you hit, and you don't get things lined up correctly, etc., always do a right-click format document before you turn in, and do that while you are coding, because that will help clean up your code and show you the structure of your code. You'll notice that I have several files over here on the left hand side, so you can add as many files as you want to your workspace. When you create a new file, you want to name it. I ask you to name it with initials, or it might be your last name depending on your instructor. I'm just going to call it demo2, and many times we hit enter and we forget to name it with .java. To fix that, you would right click and rename and then name it .java. When you do that, it does not fill in any of the automatic code. So your Java files always have to start with a class, and it will be public class and then the name of the file that you are in. So this one's ko_demo2. So ko_demo2, and then a beginning curly brace, and notice it puts in an ending curly brace, and I hit enter a few times. The shortcuts that you can then use to get your main method, which is required, is to start typing main. You can hit tab or select main. And then inside of there, if we want an output statement, the shortcut for that is sout. Should be all lowercase, but notice that it's telling you what it's expecting. If I hit tab or I select that, it then enters my output statement. Notice that it puts in this X. If I click off of this and then I highlight or hover over the method that is being called, it's showing you what that X represents. That X represents a string. So that X is indicating the parameter that this method is using. And if I hover over the method, it tells me more about that. You don't need to know most of that. That's kind of behind the scenes stuff, but that's what that X is doing. Don't try to type it in because it won't work. If you notice, our curly braces are no longer lined up, so I'm going to right click and format the document to make everything be aligned. If you want all of your files to be backed up, you can use the download button here, which is to download all of the files, and then it will save it to wherever you have your files backed up. If you then need to retrieve one of those files, I go to my Finder. I've got several examples here that I've done before. I'm going to pull in my scanner demo. You can drag and drop, and it will load that file. You can also create a new file and copy and paste the code in. But if you do that, be careful to name the class the same name as the file that you are working on. You can delete files by doing a right click and delete permanently. And one of the last things that we will show you is how you can reset your workspace if for some reason a file gets corrupted and nothing is working. Make sure that you back up your work as we showed you, but you can go to settings and you can reset lab to template. When you do that, it will reset the lab back to main.java as your only file. You will often get this error message because we had files that were open that are no longer deleted, and then you can just close those files, and I think there might even be a close all, and then you're back to your beginning template, and you can start adding files back in one at a time to get your workspace set up or create new files as needed. In this video, we showed you a variety of ways to work within this environment, including opening the workspace in a new tab, opening and closing the Explorer window on the left, clearing the console using the 3 dots, reformatting codes with a right click, reformat code, creating multiple files, some coding shortcuts, backing up your work and resetting the template, and then we did show how to add files back in also. So good luck. Hopefully this helps in your coding adventures.